In progress. Oh, wait.
There we go.
What?
Got it.
Get rid of the got it's? Tonight, we're on a mission from God.
A mission from God.
That's right. We discuss 1980s blockbuster extravaganza. The Blues Brothers with special guests tonight. I'm going to be your host. No funny name here. Then we've got Dominic Blues showed up in person, gracing us with his present. How's the tour going out on the West Coast?
Hey, we're booked solid, but I'm proud to be here with you guys tonight.
We're glad to have you here. Glad to have you here. And facing off across the country, we've got Agent 00 Russell Craigie.
Shooba-doo-wop.
Exactly. This movie was a huge kind of, they made more like this where they put all musicians, singles, had a lot of the grunge scene in it, but not in the same way as this movie. It was an absolute phenomenon. And one of the things that has come up in just the pre-discussion that should come up in this early discussion is, Joe, you and I were 2 years old when this movie came out in movie theaters.
Indeed.
But I watched this movie more times in the first 15 years of my life than I have in the second 30, 40, whatever you want to call it.
Way to date yourself.
Don't
dude.
lie.
Way to date yourself. I appreciate it.
Yeah. I was doing 15 one way and 30 the other way. It was being generous with the year, but the math didn't add up, and I left my abacus at home. But why do you think this movie was so important, along a lot of other movies like Caddyshack, Ghostbusters, obviously, 84. Again, we're 6 years old. Ghostbusters comes out. That's one of the most important movies to an 8 to 9 year old me. What's your relationship with the Blues Brothers, Joe? Dominic, sorry.
Dominic, yeah, gotta keep it Dominic. Oh, Dominic showing up tonight.
Dom!
The Dom.
I can't do a
the
Marcus.
Dom. Dom, no. Gears of War 3 throwback there.
I think these are prescription. They're not mine. I left mine at the office.
Yeah, just not working for you.
Okay, and this jacket's super hot. All right.
Hey, but you got the vest.
Hey,
Still
there
coming.
you go. You
Bring
look
in the
great.
vest.
That's right.
Bring in the vest.
Double guns.
Hey,
It's a special
Alex, let us know what you think of our outfits. Because
Alex, don't stop commenting because
you're
Russ
the only
is
one who
a
cares.
miserable bastard.
There were so many movies that came out in the 80s that were influential on my childhood that I was not aware of that were influential on my childhood until I looked it up in preparation for tonight's show. Somewhere in Time, Blue Lagoon, The Shining, Urban Cowboy. These are just some of the ones that are the Fog.
Watching Urban Cowboy as a
Airplane.
young child seems like maybe I should have a talk with your mom and see what was going on.
Airplane.
Right? All right. Yeah,
Don't call me
back on
Sheila.
track with Airplane. Russ, what do you know about Airplane?
Don't call me Sheila.
That okay?
Shirley. Don't call me Shirley.
Don't call me
Shirley.
Shirley. Don't call me Sheila.
Don't call me Sheila. Hey,
Russ is popping the collar with that one. Don't call me Shirley. No, it's not Crocodile Dundee.
Airplane. I've seen it a few times. I like it. I like it more than this movie. But
jeez. Wow.
Man, rough.
You're a real negative Nancy. Why don't we get you out of the way and give us a rating on this tonight?
I should preface this with the fact that this is my first watch. And when this movie came out, I wasn't born yet. You guys were only 2. So kind of the same thing there. You had to watch it as you got a little older.
Mm-hmm.
I never did. It wasn't a thing I watched. And it has some of the best cameos I've ever seen and some of the best music
Fair.
in a movie.
Fair.
How.
Yeah. But overall, would I
Boom,
watch
boom,
it again
boom,
or
boom.
recommend it? Those like points were very low for me. I would give it a C. It has no nostalgia for me.
Oh my God.
And I think the nostalgia really drives it home. I think this movie is very aged. And that when you're coming into the first time watching it, it's hard when you don't have a nostalgic factor.
I mean, technically, this movie's younger than me, so I'm just gonna throw a little "fuck you" out there.
right. Well, you're pretty aged too. I mean,
Oh, aged wisdom. Go ahead and rate this movie.
I mean, I showed up. It's a B. Yeah, it's a B. At the time when this thing came out, this thing was an A+ all day long, every day. A++ when it came out. The amount of destruction that they laid waste in that mall.
Dude,
You don't see that kind of real world destruction in modern movies. It
it's
just
so
doesn't
unnecessary. But
happen.
it's so
it
fucking
is so
funny.
ridiculously unnecessary.
wait, just like to ask you guys, as someone who watched it for the first time, when you watched it again this time, did you think it was funny?
Yes.
Absolutely. Dude.
Yeah, but I laugh at
There's a lot of room in this mall.
This place has got everything. And
so
I wait for, do you have Miss Piggy? Like I'm watching for that line. That one, we're on a mission from God. That's an important one as well. The penguin, dude, when she is just beating the shit out of him with the ruler, it's one of my favorite things ever. Yeah, absolutely. I would also give this movie, I give it a B+. I'd say it hasn't aged well, but it's so fun to watch and see 1980 inside of it.
It hasn't aged well, but at the same time, like the reason for the B versus a lower grade and something I'd much rather give it a higher grade, but the reality is the cultural context is just gone from today's modern society. Like, I mean, James Hooker, James Brown,
John Lee Hooker.
Lee Hooker.
Yes.
James Brown, Aretha Franklin, the saxophonist that originally came from the SNL band. The fact that Dan Aykroyd actually created and wrote this, and the fact that him and John Belushi actually formed a band and released one of the most influential blues albums is insane. It's insane.
And this is spawned from Saturday Night Live. So you talk about there's no movie to reference this. I mean, there have been tons of movies like this from the Saturday Night Live that come out and they actually have a huge impact. Lonely Island did it not too long ago with Popstar. Of course, it wasn't as impactful, obviously, because neither one of you know what I'm talking about.
No, I know Popstar.
Yeah. Never stop, never stopping.
Anyway,
I actually don't know Popstar, but I know Lonely Island pretty well, and they're phenomenal.
So
this was probably arguably and perhaps factually, I didn't get a chance to review it before the show, but probably the first SNL feature film.
I wonder. That'd be interesting to find out. I'm not sure.
So somebody fact checked us. Feel free to comment in the doobly-doo.
Yep. The comment section. Also click the button, ring the bell.
Dominique. What's
Dominic.
Dominic Blues.
How long have we been running this gig?
Not Dominique, because that's a girl's name.
I mean, I got the long hair, but don't get it confused.
Hey, I do have to say, this is my favorite costume since Monty Python.
Nice, yeah. I mean, that's what we've been getting in the comments is costumes. More costumes, please.
The helmet was important.
Thanks,
the vest
Alex,
is really working
for that
Ben
feedback.
right now.
You think so? I feel like it's off.
I like it. And the Aviators, Russ is rocking the Aviators right now. Just
looking
killing
good.
it.
It's a good looking crew.
Killing it.
Yeah.
It's a good looking crew, and we're about to get the wad out when we discuss the writers, the actors, the director. Usually it's best to get the writer and the director out of the way. Written by Dan Aykroyd.
Insane. Fact I didn't know. Until
Was
I started
originally like a
researching it.
200 to 300 page block of shit that he actually had bound to look like a telephone book.
Yeah, I had heard it was called The Tome.
Right.
Like apparently this entire script was written in a bar that he bought called The Blues.
Don't doubt it.
Which I researched this earlier, so cite me and correct me if I'm wrong, but apparently Dan Aykroyd and John Belushi got entirely ridiculously infatuated with the blues. Aykroyd actually bought a bar called The Blues.
All right.
And apparently,
was the bar called The Blues before he bought it, or did he name it The Blues after he bought it?
That I don't know. Apparently, it was called
out of it. I'm totally out of this story.
Yeah. And the script was written over a number of years. I want to say 2 years that it was written with a ridiculous amount of people. And then when it came time to actually write it for a screenplay, Aykroyd had no experience writing a screenplay. And who was it that signed the rights for this movie, Ben?
Signed the rights?
Yeah.
Ellen Page.
I don't know.
Oh, you don't know. All right. Well, so whoever it was,
Jimmy.
Whoever it was that won the rights to make this movie, they actually were afraid that it wasn't going to get made because filming was delayed almost 6 months because of Aykroyd's inexperience with writing a screenplay. And so John Landis had to come through and do a complete edit.
That's right.
To get it started. And the filming was actually started with no final budget.
Right. In fact, there's a fun little blurb that says when Landis found out the budget was going to be 17.5 million, he said, I think we've already spent that. Budget ended up being 27.5 million. So I'm sure that conversation was, you got 10 more and that is it. You bring this movie home. 115.2 at the box office. So a success.
Despite a limited release. Because
and so originally being a bomb in the States.
Right. Because so many issues with filming and production that it actually got a 50% less release in the theaters over other similar movies because of apparently John Belushi's shenanigans.
Right. Yeah. I mean, he was well known. There's a lot of trivia about it. People having to babysit him to try and keep drugs away from him because they were so. Aykroyd is quoted as saying the cocaine budget was built into the budget. Like everybody was on it in order to get it made. Speaking of John Landis, kind of an important 80s director. He's done a lot of stuff, but his 80s stuff really. Russ, do you have any idea who John Landis is?
Is he really, really old?
That fucking guy right here.
Worst.
He's got gray in his beard, so yeah, he's really old.
Really old. Kentucky Fried Movie. I know, really important.
Holy
a little too
shit,
before my time.
I haven't heard that
right?
forever.
Definitely have seen it, but I don't remember it. Animal House, which was like revolutionary, funny.
Dude, Animal House is right up there with friggin' the Porkies.
I mean, Animal House is
Porkies.
You haven't seen the Porkies? You haven't seen
Porkies? I've seen Porkies.
Oh.
I'm saying it's better. It's better, dude. Just the Donald Sutherland explaining the atoms in a thumbnail and the guy smoking.
This is true.
Yeah. Can I buy some pot off you?
But wait, we're alienating Russ.
Have you guys watched Animal House recently? I watched it within the last year.
No,
I have not watched it recently.
To me, it was another one that was like, it's got some standout, like, haha,
right.
This is really funny.
Right.
But it aged, and it definitely aged.
That's my recollection as well. But then Blues Brothers and
Coming
then
to America.
But wait, don't skip over American Werewolf in London.
Oh, fuck, he did that movie?
One of my favorites, 100%. One of my favorite. Trading Places,
Great movie.
dude.
Great movie.
I mean,
that's
again,
a good movie.
Aykroyd, Murphy, Jamie Lee Curtis. Dude, that
Jamie Lee
movie's-
Curtis killed that
Jamie
movie.
Lee Curtis. Yes,
Yeah,
makes me
killed
want to
that,
watch Trading
yeah.
Places right now. Then he does the Twilight Zone. Now, Russ, have you seen the Twilight Zone movie with John
I
Lithgow?
can't remember the movie, but I remember the show really well.
Yeah. Well, the movie is really well known for that. William Shatner originally did it on the show in black and white. And then in the movie, John Lithgow, the gremlin on the plane. It's got some other interesting sketches, but Landis directs one where it's basically a guy who's sick of all the new racial crap. It's basically like a crabby old white guy, doesn't want to change, gets put in the shoes of all these minorities and different things that he complains against. There's an accident on set and the actor gets decapitated with a helicopter rotor.
Oh shit!
Yeah,
Say what?
really
That's not-
happened.
That's
Really
not that
happened.
movie.
No, this is a Ben fact.
No, Twilight Zone. Look it up.
That's a
John
different
Landis.
movie, isn't it?
What?
I've actually heard that fun fact multiple times. I thought it was a different movie.
Twilight Zone. You know, maybe it's an urban legend. That would be fun to look up. Don't at me. He also directed the Thriller music video. All right. Three Amigos.
Did he really?
Okay. Yes.
One of the best music videos of
Yes.
all music videos
Yes.
time. Like I think that thing still holds the record.
I'm telling you. Coming to America. Yeah.
Thriller is pretty amazing.
Amazing. Yeah. His beginning 80s, 80 through 85, 86, Heaters. And then I don't know what. Something crazy happens. And he starts making really bad movies.
All right, so that's Landis.
Okay,
but what
but
about
wait.
Aykroyd? Like
He
I don't
did-
really know much about Dan
No, no.
Aykroyd. I haven't
That's-
seen him in a lot of movies.
So, so you haven't seen him in a lot of
That's
movies, but did you
bullshit.
know Ghostbusters didn't?
Wait,
Ghostbusters.
John
was
Landis.
Aykroyd?
John Landis directed Beverly Hills Cop 3.
Three.
It
Yes.
has a 9% on Rotten Tomatoes. I just feel like that is worth noting for his fall from grace.
Yeah, he gets into some bad ones. He gets into some real bad ones. But no, you were saying Aykroyd wrote Ghostbusters. He actually had
He
Belushi
can-
in mind for Pinkman.
Right. He conceived and wrote Ghostbusters with Belushi in mind. He had a number of movies he wrote with Belushi in mind.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. I hadn't
Is
realized.
this our first Aykroyd movie?
God, you know, it might be.
I think so. I think so.
And he's pretty. If you think of everything he's been in, I mean, dude, from Ghostbusters to Tommy Boy to
To Coneheads.
Coneheads, the Great Outdoors. I know it's a weird one to just pull out, but the Great Outdoors was on HBO
I love The
when I
Great
was growing up.
Outdoors. I love
I've
The Great
seen
Outdoors.
it
It's a great
so
movie.
many times. John Candy, Dan
Yeah,
Aykroyd.
John Candy, like pinnacle John Candy role.
Yes, agreed. Although I did like Harry Crumb, but yeah,
I was surprised to see John Candy in this movie. Honestly,
Right?
Like I had forgot that he was in it. And
You want an orange whip? You want an orange whip?
Dude, I had
Three
to
orange
Google,
whips.
I had to Google Orange Whip. I was like, what the fuck is that? I've never seen someone order that.
Yeah. No,
I want to order one now for no reason.
Just like that.
I imagine it tastes like an alcoholic Orange Julius. And
Right. That is my assumption as well. I'm like, where can I go order Fernet? Like, do I have to go to South America for that now? After watching our last episode,
Dude, I love their scene
spoilers.
in the restaurant Chez Soul. Like when they go to recruit the bassist, drummer.
Oh, when Aretha Franklin's there, that's my favorite.
No, not the Aretha Franklin diner scene.
We're way before. We haven't even gotten the wad out. How are you on
Oh,
sticky
all right,
scenes
sorry.
already?
All right.
We're
Sorry.
hey, give John Belushi his due. What's do you guys have a SNL sketch with John Belushi that you always remember fondly? I always loved the samurai at the deli. The samurai deli. He just got to yell and then cut shit up with the samurai sword. I don't know. I always thought that was a really good bit.
we we as a society were robbed when John Belushi died. Like, I mean, he was a powerhouse that could have influenced Hollywood.
I don't think anybody's going to argue. Nobody's going to take up the other.
Hey,
Nobody's
Joe,
like,
you're
him
wrong.
and Chris Farley, get him out of here. Right.
Damn.
No. Yeah. Both of them
Yeah.
extremely tragic.
Oh yeah, I'd say for me, Chris Farley was.
Bro, can you
bigger.
imagine Chris Farley pitting out, coming back out, getting a dramatic role? Dude, yeah. Well, we were
Or even
robbed of a
Belushi
top-
on the other side
Same
of, on
thing.
the other side of his friggin' on the other side of this mess. You know, I mean,
I s-
dude,
I guess I
could've-
feel like for me, Chris Farley is more of like a surprise, whereas John Belushi is like, yeah, that guy did drugs all the fucking time.
all the fucking time. You know who else did a lot of drugs? Carrie Fisher in this movie
yeah.
as the mystery woman. Pretty funny little role for her. It's funny. I remember being like, this lady's so crazy, but she's really pretty. It's way before I knew about the whole scale, but yeah, interesting role to, as a kid, be like, what is going on here? She just shot 8 missiles.
What
Dude,
is
and
going
I
on?
love
here?
the skit effect that they pulled into her whole storyline. Like, she was there and she was a thing, and as a viewer of the movie, you're like, what the fuck is going on? And Elwood and Jake never. Yeah, there's like $7 in change here, Jake. I mean, you guys just got launched into the fucking stratosphere and fell back out. Yeah, no, I mean,
Nothing phases them. The
No.
whole apartment complex fucking explodes, and they're just like, well, it's-
I know, and they
Work.
climb out of the bricks. It's 9:00. We got to go to work.
Yeah.
It was good. I love how in that scene, like, one of the things that stuck with me, not to like phone in the sticky scenes, but just they were climbing out of the bricks, and one of the bricks was on the brim of his hat, and it just sat there. I was like, oh, they're all foam bricks.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yes, not actual bricks.
I did not notice that. I mean, it would be
Uh.
easy to get actual bricks for. I would think foam bricks would be harder to come by.
Dude, the amount of
But it's a movie.
destruction in this movie,
Yeah.
it almost broke the budget.
I
They
will
got
say
sued
like,
for how much they broke up that mall.
Did they really?
Yeah.
I actually I don't know. I feel everything's so dated in this movie that I couldn't enjoy it as much as someone who had watched it earlier first. But as I was watching that car chase scene, which ended up like I did not love it, but
Which
I did-
the mall one, because there's a few car chases.
The mall one.
the one with the fucking Nazis by the end of it, who
Okay, yeah.
All right, in the camper,
which
Yeah.
camper truck, dude, and they were hauling balls. Like, I freaking saw that freaking scene when the camper truck went zooming around that corner, and I was like, oh, they didn't even use some Hollywood shit. Like, those motherfuckers were speeding.
Yeah.
well, I actually stopped and thought I compared that scene to Terminator 3, Matrix 3, and Bad Boys 2, when those 3 movies were all up for best car chase scene. I don't know why it stood out as that good to me. It was nonstop. It lasted longer than any car chase scene I think I've ever seen. And it's just like they're constantly destroying things. The thing that ruined it for me was when that Nazi car at the end actually falls through the pavement. And I think I sent you guys a message at that point being like, remember Joe versus the volcano? And it just reminded me of the fucking volcano sinking into the ocean and how old that movie really is.
You gotta remember though, Smoking the Bandit and that kind of shit was out. Like, I mean, car chase scenes have always been a thing, but the
Oh,
amount
dude.
of the amount
ever
of
watch Cannonball
destruction,
Run?
the amount of destruction that the Blues Brothers laid out on the car chase scenes is absolutely unprecedented. I would say it's a benchmark.
For a number of years, it held the
there.
record for
It's
number
the
of
benchmark.
cars.
And I wouldn't, again, as like an outsider who didn't even like enjoy certain parts of it that much, I would 110% agree with you. I have never seen a movie that's like, let's just take it to this level. Let's drive through a literal mall for 20 minutes and just see how much shit we can break.
Dude, I was so blown away. It's been a hot minute since I've seen this movie, and to watch them actually like drive through a bust out the mall, and being a contractor as I am, I'm like, how much thought did they put into the structures that they demolished in this mall? Like it seems a little rampant. Like that may have not been safe to have all of those extras on scene while you were knocking support calls.
One of the trivia things I read said that they ended up having to actually do 2 of a lot of those chases.
Oh my God.
They originally did it with nobody in them. Right. And then it was like, no, it looks like sped up photography. It doesn't look as good. So they went back and put stunt people in there.
I can't believe how many stunt people,
Dude.
like the stunt people budget had to just fucking blow the roof off of this fucking budget. Like,
how many stunt people?
Hey, are you willing to stand in this
permanently?
mall while we slide cars through supporting columns?
For me-
just let us know.
For me,
Don't worry,
especially-
we'll call you. Don't call us.
especially in the second car chase scene, the one that's not through the mall for you viewers who are watching. What really stands out the most about it is like they're just driving. They're almost like they're speeding a little bit at worst. But the cops in it, there's like 100 cop cars and they're causing so much devastation. They're destroying everything on the road.
I early on made a note like comparing this movie to Die Hard as far as the, and the totally inept cops. Like there's a lot of just the country band that just can't seem to get a shit come together. Yeah. Last little bit about actors.
Yeah.
To finish it up, lots of great little things. We talked about Paul Reubens has that tiny little cameo, gets to deliver one line. But you definitely are like
Pee Wee Herman. Yeah. Dude, has that guy aged a fucking day?
I mean, I haven't seen him in a while.
Dude,
but
78. He figure walks onto the screen for this little scene, and I'm like, dude, instantly recognize Pee Wee Herman, and, and not even like a young Pee Wee Herman, like that's just Pee Wee Herman. I want to know that guy's beauty regimen. Like how do I get that?
Well, give him a call. Maybe he'll tell you. At him on Instagram. I hear that's a great way to.
Young children, I'm out.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I don't think that's the case. You totally threw me off. I don't. Buffy the Vampire Slayer was Sarah Michelle Gellar, the movie Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Yeah,
he is so fucking funny in that. So funny when he's when he's dying from the stake. Anyway, who else? Does anybody think that they can beat me in cameos in this movie?
Absolutely fucking not, dude. I mean, John Lee Hooker.
Right. The musicians,
James
Chaka
Brown.
Khan.
Okay, wait.
The singers.
Before you do that,
Aretha Franklin.
Did anyone else see Matt Murphy on set and go, "Is that Carl Weathers?" Because I was like, when I saw his arms come out, I was like, "Is he gonna arm wrestle?"
That's pretty good. That's pretty
off
good.
the table.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
That's literally who I thought it was at first, and then I saw him using it. Instantly.
I was astounded at the youth of Aretha Franklin in this movie.
Oh yeah.
I was like, oh my God, look at a young Aretha Franklin. Sing it, girl. Come on.
And I remember that was the linchpin. That was the linchpin of watching this movie with the family when I was young. Was my mom was waiting for that Aretha Franklin scene, and then just we love the comedy all throughout. The hut 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 from all the guys. Hut 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 hut, hut. Dude. I mean, my entire childhood,
Dude, I
we
can't
would say
even
that.
can't even count how many times I heard that reference.
Yep. Yep.
Dude, you know what I love? Who put a gun in Stevie Wonder's hand and let him pull the trigger?
You mean Ray Charles?
Ray Charles.
Wow.
My bad.
Jesus Christ.
I just had that conversation with my son tonight. He was like, "Is this Stevie Wonder?" I was like, "No, it's Ray Charles." So that's my bad. But yeah, who put a gun in Ray Charles' hand and let him pull the trigger?
I mean,
that was a great
had
scene.
A blank. But hey, the kid he shoots at, that's Argyle from Die Hard.
No shit.
Yeah. Really?
Yeah.
I don't believe you.
Also, the other really good one is the dad from Fresh Prince of Bel-Air was one of the dancers in the outside dance scene when it was Ray's musical number.
Just to confirm, Argyle's the demolitions expert in the first movie?
he's the limo driver.
He's the limo driver.
Oh, fuck, with the bear.
Hey, you got the number? Use it.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Pretty cool.
I gotta say, one of the things,
dude, like the level of the level of actors that are in this movie are insane.
Yeah,
it's
just insane.
Like I was saying, the cameos are off the hook in this movie. There's not a lot of movies that can come.
Even the state trooper that's chasing him, the African American state trooper that's chasing him the whole movie. He's been in tons of shit after this. Tons of shit.
Fuck yeah.
What? I couldn't tell you because I just got my wad out. Now we're going to talk about some sticky scenes.
I got to say, before we move on from Aretha Franklin, she's like one of my favorite singers.
Yeah.
Period. And I was so excited to see her on the scene, and I was so disappointed in that scene. And like, it was the most obviously lip synced of all the musical parts, which I really fucking hated. And then the music itself, the song it's bombastic. I don't know a better word. Like, there's a lot going on in that song. There's a lot of
Let's go back. Let's go way back when.
All right.
There's so many voices in that song, and they've only got like 3 people in the diner singing with her. It just it feels so out of place.
Freedom.
Oh, yeah, no, I mean it's a little
whatever
between the stuff that she's got going on. It's still one of my favorite scenes.
They struggled with the syncing.
Mad when Aretha's on scene, and my 2-year-old was like, "Oh fuck, I gotta dance to this shit."
That's right.
I mean,
Eric, that's the queen of soul.
I love her in ultimate respect. Like, fuck it, you win. Just like, I don't care. But I really wish I got more out of that scene.
It's funny, John Landis got a connection with a lot of royalty. The Queen of Soul did Thriller with the King of Pop, and then a lot of cocaine with the Queen of England. So as far as scenes go, dude, right from the beginning, him getting out of jail and Frank Oz, who, hey, Miss Piggy, that's the guy who gives him back his shit as he's getting out of jail.
Another cameo.
Yeah, with a little inside joke later to get anyway. One watch broken. I don't know. What do you guys got? What are some of the best scenes as far as you're concerned?
I went over my favorite scene so far. The apartment blowing up. I thought it was silly, but that it was so, I didn't expect it at all. I did like I did not like the first half of the movie, how it was too much, like I was waiting, and it was taking forever. This is a long movie, but then
2 hours, 13 minutes.
The second half of the movie where it all kind of like,
which is insane for fucking 80s.
It
comedy.
It kind of pushes together everything that you've watched up until that point. And when it's like the cops and the guys in the Winnebago and the Nazis all chasing them down the road, I did enjoy, like, for a second I was like, where'd the Nazis go? I liked the build up on this just everyday kind of casual humor level to it. Like, I don't know, one of the characters in this reminds me of a guy I used to know really well. You guys know him. I already mentioned it, but and I could just see myself being Dan Aykroyd and this other person being John Belushi or Joseph Belushi, John Belushi,
Dominic. Jesus.
No, you're not Belushi, you're Blues. Oh my God. Just go on.
Anyways, and I could just see us, like, I could see me getting into the shit that he would get me into, and suddenly having like all these cops and some Nazis and shit chasing us because of that. And I don't know, the culmination of everything at the end is I think the scenes that make this movie worth watching to me, especially when the girlfriend or fiance or whatever that he stood up shows up and is like got the AK-47 trying to shoot them in a really confined space and just shoots all around them, which is like the repeating theme of the movie. Really, really funny. I still give it a C, but funny.
I mean, Carrie Fisher scenes are always the sticky scenes for me when I think of this movie. As much of a B role as she played, they were just comedy, like and comedy set for the time.
When they show her reading the flamethrower manual, and she's at her hair salon, which is curl up and dye. Hair salon. Yeah.
And when she's setting the bomb to blow up their environment, and you look at this giant friggin' what is obviously a repurposed RC controller, right, for some type of RC device, probably a plane, and she starts working the directional stick. I'm like, what are you doing? Are you like directing the explosion? I mean, this makes no sense. Yeah,
I'm glad you say that, because when it happened, I thought, like, am I drinking too much or something? Like, what?
She asked herself that question. I mean,
I thought I missed a little about that. I thought I missed a little remote control car with bombs attached to it going into the.
That's that's at least 6 years down the line.
All of those scenes. I mean, she launches fucking 4 rockets into the.
No, dude, she double shoots out of those tubes. I counted. There's way more than 4. She goes double rockets out of those 4 tubes.
She reloaded. That bitch was jilted. She was jilted.
Oh, took time to reload.
The little speech that she gives him in the sewer, it reminded me so much of Amigo Montoya. It wasn't even funny. Ultimately, probably my ultimate sticky scene is the car busting out of the JCPenney storefront. I mean, the absolute waste and desolation that they lay onto that mall, which was a big thing in the 80s. Like, malls were just coming into their fucking own.
Oh yeah.
And
oh my God, remember the Fairfield Mall in the 80s, dude?
The gold mine.
Remember the gold mine?
You guys remember it in the 90s? Like, the Fairfield Mall was the coolest thing ever until, I don't know, 10 years ago.
I feel like mall layout was dictated by this movie of a car running through it. Like, I feel like the placement of the escalators and the stairs and just the rotundas and whatever was like, yeah, no, you don't have to worry. You don't have to worry about a car running rampant through this thing. Because I tell you what, I went to the West Sacramento Mall or the Stockton Strip Mall. Dude,
tons of cars running rampant through it. You got to watch out.
Absolutely. Could have fucking just, it was fucking get out of the way.
Get out of the way.
Get out of the way.
I got to say, like I said earlier, the scene when they go see the Penguin, who that actress has 300 acting credits to her name. Really amazing.
The Nun, right?
Yes. The Nun.
Yeah. No, that was
that
great.
I love that scene when when they sit in the desk and she tells them to come closer, that makes me laugh every time. It's such great physical comedy, dude. Belushi right there. So good.
I wonder how good this movie would have been if Belushi wasn't friggin' like drugged and alcoholed out of his mind.
He thought it made a better performance, but yeah, who knows?
No, I see it like now in retrospect and with context. Like I can't say it when I first saw it, but now in retrospect and with context, like I speculate on what him and Aykroyd could have become. Like Aykroyd has been an incredible force.
Mhm.
I mean, he founded and started the House of Blues.
Yep.
Which was bought out by Live Nation in
Skullhead Vodka.
He ran a radio production,
Really?
which is on Recast. I don't even know where it's on Recast, but I know I've listened to
Google
it. Like
that.
the Dan Aykroyd, and he casts a podcast radio show under
Elwood Blues.
Does
he still do that?
Dude, it's on reproduction, like it's on rerun.
Oh, okay.
Like, I don't know if he still does it, but I know it's on rerun. I've listened to it, and it's
that was
so
cool.
Fucking good.
Yeah, dude,
Like,
I really like
it's
that
really
and Little Steven's Underground Garage. I thought were the best two kind of the shows on Sirius XM that I ever enjoyed. Was his Elwood Blues and Little Steven's Underground Garage. Gotta say, yeah, Aykroyd's been really a big figure in comedy. Kind of picked up what Chevy Chase lost by being kind of a little too extra in modern nomenclature.
I'd go even further, and I'd say Aykroyd really embodies the problem that we have in modern day society, which is that guy identified early on what his passion was, and he lived his passion. Like acting was a part of it. Honestly, and this is completely unjustified with any kind of research or facts, but I would say that Aykroyd's commitment to acting only remained because of his dedication to his friend Belushi. That he would have not maintained his frame in the acting and the screenwriting world if Belushi had lived. I think, dude, the Blues Brothers Briefcase Full of Blues was one of the most influential blues albums ever released. It was based off an SNL skit. This band didn't even exist until these comedians wrote the role. And
then we're like, let's do this.
Let's do it. And they went and did it. They fucking opened for Winterland New Year's Eve, 1978. As the Blues Brothers, as a band. Like they released records. They've been indoctrinated
very
into the Library
similarly
of Congress. I mean, it's insane. Like I had no idea how much cultural relevance this movie had.
A lot.
Until I started digging into it.
Very similarly, on like almost the same scale, Piece of Shit Car by Adam Sandler.
I mean, how come the goat never got made into anything? That was always one of his best. Hey, goat. All right. What was your favorite musical performance? I love James Brown in the church.
I mean, if I had to, it'd be Hooker.
Yeah.
I just that scene and the cinematography that they lay into it as they're laying the soundtrack down, like it just
wait, are you talking about
me so hard?
Are you talking about Ray Charles in the Music Emporium?
No.
Because John Lee Hooker's playing out in the street.
Yes, when John Lee Hooker's playing out in the street, so they cut to the scene and John Lee Hooker starts boom 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 boom. And they do all the little cut scenes, and it's on just and it's like a flash of Chicago street culture. And it just I don't know, for whatever reason, for me, it really struck home. I was like, damn, fucking sing it, son. Give me some of that shit.
Russ, what's your favorite food to eat when you're experiencing Chicago street culture?
Turkey leg.
He said a turkey leg. What the fuck?
Fucking sausage. What are you
What the
talking about? There's no
fuck?
goddamn turkey. Are you out of your mind?
I
Oh,
mean,
my God.
just barbecued
My
shit on the
God.
sidewalk. Turkey leg would be great.
I got the
Turkey leg.
worst food poisoning I ever got from the Jurassic Park ride turkey leg at Universal Studios. I'll never eat another turkey leg I don't cook.
Hey,
Ever.
What? Ren Fair?
favorite song?
Never.
Like favorite all around like song performance scene.
Like
blah,
I really
blah,
love
blah.
the song in Ray's Music Exchange for exactly what Joe was saying. The little build up to it and how they all get into it. It's a cute little number.
Dude, Rawhide is the best part of the whole movie, in my opinion.
Yeah.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. Like
Yeah,
I want to
no.
go to a bar that has a chain link fence up in front of the band.
But I'm watching
Yeah,
that shit and I'm like, dude, all that glass coming through that thing is incredibly dangerous.
Oh, yeah.
There's
Well,
no way they aren't all cut up.
There's no way the glass would actually break on a chicken wire fence, too. That was all sugar glass.
Right. Yeah.
and
Super funny.
I can't think of it right now. And I'm going to describe the scene and you guys can tell me who it is. And I'm sure Ben probably knows.
Jennifer
I'm
Aniston.
looking at, no, it wasn't it. I'm looking at the casting records, but whatever. I got my glasses on. I can't see it.
I can see it in him. Hang on.
Ellen Page.
The final show was delayed because of the gas truck showing up late.
Okay.
So Elwood and Jake weren't there. And that guy went out in his all white tux and did his little scene. I'm pretty sure that was that guy's last live performance.
Yeah. Cab Calloway. He
Cab
was not.
Calloway. That's
Yeah,
the name
Minnie
I
the
was looking for.
Moocher.
I knew you had it. I knew you
Yes.
had it, baby. I love you for that.
That's Cab Calloway. I mean,
Dude,
he's a
and
pretty
that-
big dude.
And he
What do you mean?
fucking
He died after that or something?
Laid.
Immediately when they said cut,
Bam.
Really?
Yeah, they didn't even call the ambulance. They just called the fucking.
I mean,
they just called
Ben
the
lies to
mortuary.
me all the time. Joe, can you verify this?
it was his
Oh,
final
no.
movie role,
It
and he
was
died
his-
soon after. But he
Yes.
didn't die on the making of this movie. This wasn't the Twilight Zone.
But he slayed, dude. He slayed in that fucking performance. He did so fucking good. Like, and kudos to them. Like, I think it's lost in context now because obviously this movie's 40 fucking plus years old. But and this is the old
Is it?
guard.
No.
Yeah. Sorry, math.
Yep.
It's
like a different color.
Fucking just slayed. I mean, like that performance that he puts down would have been better than this year's fucking halftime performance at the Super Bowl. I'm just
Oh my
saying.
God.
I'm just saying.
Dude,
I'm
all
just
right.
saying.
Time to go home.
I'm
You're
just
drunk.
saying.
Jesus
I'm
Christ.
just
Now you're just
saying.
saying ridiculous shit.
Whatever. Mary J.
Okay,
Blige got
if that
arthritis.
performance was so good, what would you say was the worst part of this movie? What's the thing that you want to say? I recognize this was bad. For me, it's the sequel for sure.
Oh wait, well you said it had to be a part of this movie, motherfucker. You can't.
The
lead
sequel
off
is
with
so
saying the
bad.
sequel. I mean, I'll just agree with you, just to make the conversation short.
All right, great. That sounds great. Any other fun facts you guys have? Any other things that you wanted to talk about? Not you, Joe. I love that the Catholic Church used to promote this a little bit as a good Catholic movie. I thought that was actually pretty good. Like their whole, no matter what they're doing is doing right for where they were raised. It's as ridiculous as it is, they're very much into their mission from God.
So I watched the unrated version.
Oh, snap. Unrated.
Unrated. I didn't even know there was a thing. But
Is there more Carrie Fisher time?
no, in fact,
Unsubscribe.
I think the majority of their unrated version goes into the Nazi diatribe at the bridge. I'm
Wow.
pretty sure that's where they garnered the majority of their unrated version, and it was interesting watching it, and it was like, wow, this would never ever in today's modern society make it onto scene. Even some of the scenes that I think were made the final cut for the rated version, like it's insane. It's insane how society develops sometimes. It's ridiculous.
It's true.
Not always for the worst. Like there
That's
were
right.
some things that were said on screen that I had to watch, and I was like, I don't know that I need to be exposed to this. But at the same time, it was like, if it's historical and people have had to deal with that, I all right. I mean, digest it as you will. But it was pretty brutal. It was pretty brutal.
Brutal. Yes, Russ, what are you smelling that's brutal?
No,
Joe's opinion.
No, I mean, closing statements, I guess.
Guilty.
Closing?
Yeah, as someone who watched it for the first time, you gotta take that in here. But I just can't really recommend it. It has not aged well. I'd say it takes about an hour before the plot really does anything.
That's such a fun hour, dude.
You don't really care about the plot at any point in this movie. The plot itself is just
when he falls
like,
asleep on the
whatever.
bed after he gives him the wine out of the fridge.
Dude, he glows when he's in the refrigerator, and or not when he's in the refrigerator.
The church.
When he's in the church and he gets the message from
Those
God.
I see the light.
Those
Yeah.
aren't-
And fun fact,
I mean,
John Belushi did his own backflips.
Yeah.
what's good about this movie is the music. There's some really fucking over the top car chase shit and destruction, and the cameos are wonderful.
I wish I could play electric piano like Ray Charles. Just saying.
Yeah,
Right? I mean, how does the action go bad on an electric piano? But I love it. That scene was so good.
I love it.
I'm gonna just, if we're closing, I want to make a closing statement that
Absolutely.
this probably did more for the jazz R&B classic scene than probably any movie since.
All right. Okay.
The
Maybe.
fact that these two
Right.
comedians formed a band that went on to make
yeah.
two albums before Belushi died.
Wait, Joe, I gotta cut you off for a second and ask Ben, because I actually agree with what you're saying. Why are you shaking your head? Why are you?
The statement. I don't know the breadth of music you're talking about. I don't feel like jazz necessarily, but no. Overall, I agree with what you're saying.
No,
Ben's just a jerk.
I really
I'm
think
just a bastard.
He's a mean man.
That's right.
I think that society was robbed by Belushi's death and the Aykroyd Belushi consortium. That's not the word I'm looking for, but their ability to interact with each other and create. I think we were severely robbed of some unique and incredible ingenuity that would have revolutionized where we're at today. I mean, it is what it is. This was the first real ensemble movie, I think, that came out with the music being the star. Like, and I think
Except
that's
for
overlooked.
like musicals, right? Like actual musicals based on plays.
We haven't done
Because the
any.
70s are full of actual musicals.
But we
where
haven't
they've got
done any. Joe
Right,
said
but I
movies that
mean-
we've done.
I think this was the modern crossover, and it got lost. Like, I would almost say this was probably the last modern musical that got any legitimate traction, and that after this, it was kind of lost. I mean,
Hey, I gotta hand it to you guys. Even though I don't give this movie the highest rating, I hate musicals. Hate them.
it's definitely a musical.
And this
Agreed.
movie is a musical.
Loop de loop.
And I loved all the musical aspects of
Shake
this.
it up, baby.
The,
Boom,
the,
boom, boom,
the
boom.
music was amazing, and the scenes where they put the music in, I could not get enough of. I wanted more music.
I'm telling you, it delivers. It just delivers.
Stand by your man.
Wait, no, that's not in there.
Yeah, it is. They sing it at the honky tonk bar. Or no, they don't. It's sometimes it's hard to be a woman. That's right.
Yeah.
Damn.
Ow!
Different movie, Ben.
Ben
different
Scott out as
movie.
a liar again.
Penultimate.
Yep. That's the Pen's Ultimate Blues Brothers.
Ultimate Blues Brothers.
The Blues Cousins.
Yeah.
You ain't lying.
Yeah.
All right. Like and subscribe. We don't want to hear from Ben. Turn it off.
Wow.